I'm going to be talking about beta oxidation of fatty acids. The purpose of beta oxidation is to break down fatty acid molecules into acetyl-CoA. Acetyl-CoA is then used in the Krebs cycle to generate NADH plus FADH2. NADH and FADH2 are going to be used in the electron transport chain to generate ATP. Beta oxidation begins at the cytosol. The first step is the activation of the fatty acid. Our fatty acid is converted into fatty acyl-CoA. The first step in beta oxidation is to activate our fatty acid. So our fatty acid is going to be converted into fatty acyl-CoA, and this reaction is going to be catalyzed by acyl-CoA synthetase. So essentially, we're going to remove this hydroxyl group and we're going to add the CoH. If we look at a fatty acyl-CoA, this CoH group has been added and we lost the hydroxyl group. The next step is to transport our fatty acyl-CoA into the mitochondrial matrix. However, we need a little help. Carnitine is going to be our helper. We're going to remove the CoH group and we're going to add a carnitine. The addition of carnitine is going to be done by the action of carnitine acyltransferase 1. So once carnitine has been added to our fatty acid, it's then shuttled into the mitochondrial matrix through a transporter protein. So once our fatty acyl-carnitine is inside a mitochondrial matrix, it has to be converted back into our fatty acyl-CoA so that it can undergo beta oxidation. So we're going to remove the carnitine and we're also going to add this CoH group. And this reaction is catalyzed by carnitine acyltransferase 2. And carnitine is going to be shuttled back into the outer mitochondrial membrane so that it can be used in the next fatty acid. So once we generated our fatty acyl-CoA, it can be further oxidized into acetyl-CoA. Our fatty acyl-CoA has a total of 16 carbons. So the next step in beta oxidation is going to be an oxidation reaction. We're going to convert our fatty acyl-CoA into trans-eno-CoA, and this is going to be an oxidation reaction. It's going to be catalyzed by acyl-CoA dehydrogenase. How do we know that this is an oxidation reaction? If we look back at our fatty acid, this alpha carbon has 2 hydrogens. The beta carbon also has 2 hydrogens. But if we take a look at trans-eno-CoA, our alpha carbon only has 1 hydrogen. The beta carbon also has 1 hydrogen. And we also generated this double bond. This is an indication of oxidation. The next step is going to be a hydration reaction. Enoyl-CoA hydratase is going to add water to our enoyl-CoA, and we're going to get beta hydroxyacyl-CoA. Our alpha carbon gained 1 hydrogen. The beta carbon gained this hydroxyl group. The next step is also going to be an oxidation reaction. Beta hydroxyacyl-CoA is going to be converted to beta ketoacyl-CoA, and this reaction is catalyzed by beta hydroxyacyl-CoA dehydrogenase, and we're also going to generate 1 NADH. The final step in the reaction is going to be a cleavage or thialysis. The beta ketoacyl-CoA is going to be broken into our fatty acid and acetyl-CoA, which is our final product. And this is going to require a CoH. So acyl-CoA acetyltransferase is going to add this CoH into our fatty acid, and this is going to separate it from our product, acetyl-CoA. So the cycle is going to repeat another 6 times so that we get a total of 7 rounds of beta oxidation. Every run of beta oxidation generates one FADH2 and one NADH. we're going to generate a total of 7 FADH2, 7 NADH2, and 8 acetyl-CoA are going to be generated as well. Now let's take a look at the energy production or the energy yield. 7 rounds of beta oxidation are going to be required to fully oxidize our fatty acid into acetyl-CoA. We're going to generate 8 acetyl-CoA. A single molecule of acetyl-CoA generates roughly 12 ATP, so our net ATP from acetyl-CoA are going to be 96. FADH2 produces 2 ATP, so we're going to generate a total of 14 ATP. NADH also generates 3 ATP, so we're going to generate a total of 21 ATP. If we sum the ATP, we get a total of 131, but let's remember that in the activation process, we consume 1 ATP, so we converted our fatty acid into the fatty acyl-CoA, and this required 1 ATP. Also, once our fatty acyl-carnitine was transported into the mitochondrial matrix, it was reconverted back into our fatty acyl-CoA. This also required 1 ATP, so we consumed a total of 2 ATP. So in the oxidation process, we generated a total of 129 ATP per fatty acid. I didn't take into account the energy expense to transport ATP out of the mitochondria, so this is a rough estimate, a total of 129 ATP. This is it. Thanks for watching.